The falling birth rate in South Korea. We're going to unravel the real reasons why Korea has such a low birth rate. Hello everybody, I'm Ade.
And I'm Joy.
So, Joy, welcome to the show today.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Thank you. So today we're talking about the low birth rate in South Korea. I think we were talking earlier. You have a lot of...
Yeah, it's a big issue.
It's a huge issue. And the more I'm in Korea, the more I notice that there is just a lot of older people.
Right.
And not a lot of children in Korea. So what would you say is the biggest reason why there's just a low birth rate in South Korea as a Korean living in Korea?
I think there are really many factors about the low birth rate. But I think one of the big issues is that first, it is hard to really own your house here in Korea.
What do you mean by that, own your house?
Because a lot of younger people all get a job in Seoul, which is the capital city. Yeah, because people are jam-packed there. The house price is really high.
You know, I noticed that because we're in Busan, and a lot of my friends, I lose a lot of my friends to Seoul.
Yeah.
Strictly because they say there's no jobs in Busan.
Definitely.
And everybody's just rushing to like one city, and because everybody's there, the housing is more expensive.
So people like, oh, if I cannot afford my own house, it will be impossible for me to, for us to build a family. And if you say you have a baby, you have a child, and in Korea, the education is really competitive here.
Extremely competitive in Korea.
So you obviously know that you're gonna spend tons of money on education just to support your child. Then you're like, you cannot really imagine your own future. Like, or going travel or doing what you wanna do. So I think that's really stopping people to have a baby here.
Right. The education factor in Korea is really serious.
Huge here.
Yeah, because even today, it's New Year's Eve. You have some plan to go out, but you have a book, a notebook in your purse because you're gonna study again, right? Right. So yeah, I think that's a huge factor. One of I was watching another YouTube channel talking about the same issue. And they said something quite interesting. A lot of the older people in Korea, they say the reason why people are not having babies is because younger people want things to be too perfect. What do you think about that?
To be perfect. Yeah, I think I do see the point. Just because I think Koreans generally have high standards.
Right.
It's like now, when I see some of my friends living in Canada or US, they get just engaged, and they're still in mid-20s, because it's not really a big deal to, get engaged or get married and have a family. But here it's like you gotta reach a lot of these checklists to really make myself fully ready for, getting settled down or getting married. Because for me, it's the same. If I think about, whenever my friend asks me, do you want to get married? And I'm like, I do maybe one day, but I need to be fully ready. Right. Like financially ready, just like mentally ready. Right. But then I also have I think high standards for it, because if I have a family, then I know that the responsibility I would have is just so much. It's like too much to handle. And I know it will cost a lot to have a family here. Right. And I think that's why. Right.
A lot of the reasons I hear that the falling birth rate is that a lot of women don't want to have babies in Korea because they don't want to give up their career. Right. And they're usually the ones that are expected to quit their job or stop working. And a lot of them don't want to.
Right. And I think that's just because workplaces do not really welcome, I feel, women to have babies and at the same time keep their jobs. People it's not really. People feel like they get pressure when they're pregnant, and they're like, we feel like we need to quit our job, but it is impossible to, I guess, just stay home and just depending on your husband or to...
You need 2 incomes.
Yeah, I mean 2 incomes.
Right.
But then it is impossible for 2 people to work 8 to 9 hours a day and at the same time raise your baby.
Right.
It's like too much work to do.
Right, right. Yeah, I heard in Korea that even in certain job interviews, if you're a woman, they'll ask you your status, like marital status, if you're single, if you have a boyfriend, or if you're married. And if you're married, they'll ask you, are you going to have a baby? And that can impact your chances of getting hired. I don't know about now, but I've been in Korea for a long time. When I first came, I heard this was actually kind of normal.
Yeah, to ask those questions.
Do you still kind of hear about that these days?
I think when I was filling out some forms, there was a section about like if you're single or married.
Interesting.
And I didn't really think that much when I was checking those out.
Because it's supernatural to you, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, not married, you know.
I see. Right. And I heard too, like even when you're applying for jobs, they want a picture on your resume. Are they still doing that now too?
Some places, yes. I had to put some of my photos to apply.
To get married.
Yeah.
I mean, to get a job.
Yes.
Right. Crazy. So, actually, this came out the other day, like a week ago, in the news that in Korea, the number of strollers for dogs outsold
I saw
the number of strollers for babies. And I noticed that when people have a baby in Korea, the baby is treated like royalty because there's not many children here. And another big factor too is in America, even though you can have your opinion about it, but in America, a lot of children are born to parents who are not married.
Oh, yeah.
But in Korea, it's like not even a concept.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I can see it.
What do you think about that? Like that kind of stigma people have. Like if you're not married, like I've heard like a lot of stories where like boyfriend, girlfriend, or just a couple, and then the girl gets pregnant all of a sudden, and then like, boom, 2 months later they're getting married.
Right. Here, I think we're still conservative here.
Right.
So the documented like paper is quite important here. I guess if you're not committed fully, people know, we're not gonna be welcomed.
I see.
In family or just in your social zone, it's not super accepted to have a baby, but you're not married, you know.
Right.
So people just say, if you want to get a child, if you want to have a baby, you gotta just go get married.
Right.
And if you don't want to have a baby, you can just date, but not really fully committed. That's okay.
How do you think we can solve the problem?
Solve the problem.
Or you can't solve?
I feel it will still take some time in Korea for people to adjust that problem. Just because we still think it's a norm to get married and have a baby. And it takes quite a long time to
change the culture?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments how you feel about this topic. Bye for now.